YouTube world, this is John with GunSafetyTraining101.com and GunSafetyTraining101 on YouTube. Go check out my YouTube page, like it, subscribe, share, love it, do all that stuff, happy bells. And GunSafetyTraining101.com, where you can check out and have the opportunity to take my gun safety course. It's nuts to bolts. It's really good. You'll learn a lot. There's 8 lessons, so check that out. Today we're going to talk about cleaning my Sig Sauer P320X carry, and notice that the slide is locked to the rear. The magazine is empty. Safety, safety, safety. Do not have any live ammo whatsoever in the same room that you were cleaning a handgun in. If I'm cleaning this gun, which is 9mm, I do not have my LCR in my pocket with live rounds in it. I don't have my speed loaders in my pocket with live rounds in it. This is a 9mm. My LCR is 357. Live ammo is live ammo no matter what caliber gun you are cleaning. Do not have any live ammo in the same room that you are cleaning with. You cannot shoot yourself while cleaning your gun if you do not have live ammo. So we're going to talk about cleaning this gun here today. So the slide is open, and I'm going to set it down on the table. I'm going to bring it down here, and look, go Boston. Woo, Bruins. So I have a multi-gun gun cleaner. It has everything from shotguns to pellet rifles in it. It's got everything because I have a whole bunch of different guns that I clean. So just note, you don't need a particular setup like this. You don't have to clean all sorts of different guns. If you only have one gun, you can certainly get a gun specific, or caliber specific, I should say, gun cleaner, and just have one setup. I've got multiple guns, so I use this particular setup. If you're using a gun cleaner with multiple rods, one of the rods is going to have a collar that spins. That's the one rod you want to use when you're only using one, because you're going to want the brass brush that you push through your barrel and your cleaning rags to actually track down the rifling and get into the grooves. Otherwise, you'll just be cleaning the face of the lands in the rifling, and you won't be thoroughly cleaning your gun. So just go ahead and use this one. The first thing I do is I take the gun apart. So this gun is already locked to the rear. With the Sig Sauer, you must lock it to the rear. There's no trigger pull required to take it down, so you just drop the takedown lever, which turns down into the 6 o'clock position, rack slide, and the slide comes off. Set the frame down, pull the spring out, take the barrel out. Now I use foaming bore cleaner. I start everything off with a little dose of foaming bore cleaner and just let that sit while I clean the rest of the gun. Get a little bit around the end. Yay, foaming bore cleaner. So set that down. Now I'm going to clean the slide. This does have an optic on it, so when I do clean the breech face, I take one of my cleaning rags. By the way, I make my own cleaning rags out of old t-shirts because I clean so many guns. I just place it here over the face of the glass just so it just doesn't get dirty. And when I use my gun cleaning brush, when I'm scrubbing the breech face, I don't spit all that stuff onto the glass of the optics. Now I use traditional stuff, Hops number 9. It's a nitroglycerin solvent, and Hops gun oil. Some people use gun grease, some people use this, that, the other thing. I've just been using these 2 products for 100 years. Well, obviously not 100 years, but quite a while, and they seem to just do the trick for me. My guns don't wear out. The oil is fine. So, but whatever you want to use. If you want to use a gun grease, that's fine. If you want to use specialized stuff, be my guest. It's your world. You be you. So, with that said, I'm going to clean the breech face. So I'm going to put a little bit of Hops number 9 on the multi-strand part of my brush here, just a few drops, and I'm going to scrub the breech face and just get it all nice and clean. And I will be back after a moment to talk to you more about this. But in the meantime, I'm just going to pause it while I go through all the mundane stuff. So I've been scrubbing on the breech face a little bit, and here is the Q-tip, the first Q-tip that I pushed across it. Q-tips is one of my go-to cleaning tools, and I'm scrubbing both sides, and more junk comes out. Get rid of that, get a new Q-tip. They're cheap and inexpensive, and keep doing that till the Q-tip is pretty darn clean. Some people are fanatics. I am not. I get it darn clean, and then I go with it. I don't go for full broke on my cleaning. Some people might hate that. Some people might leave nasty comments on this page because I did not clean the breech face perfectly. Don't care. So I'll be back. So the breech face is pretty darn clean. Now I'm going to clean the underside of the slide, and I do that with my gun cleaning brush once again with the multi bristle end of it. and I just give it a little bit of scraping with the gun cleaner on it. This gun was only fired once since I cleaned it last. I shot 100 rounds through it yesterday. I'm going to clean the rail tracks as well with this brush. Get them in there nice and clean. Just give it a quick scrubbing. Take my rag, wipe most of the junk off of it, and then go back to my Q-tips. I'm going to bring them over here to get them closer, and then just kind of get a nice clean on the Q-tip. Again, I'm not going for 100% here. I'm just getting it darn clean and close to clean. It's not going to be a perfect clean by any far stretch of the imagination. You guys don't want to sit through that boring cleaning video. Anyways, also another tool in my toolbox for cleaning guns is big, fat, fluffy pipe cleaners. And this is what I clean the rail guides with. I just get it in there and give it a quick run down through there and get as much of that junk out of there as I can. And that's what you get. A little bit of gunk on it. Flip it over to the other side. More gunk. Bend it one time. See how clean we are? I'm going to push it back in there with a clean portion of it. Run it down through there again. Still a little gunk in there, but again, I'm not going for broke here. I am just giving it a nice, healthy, quick cleaning. Okay, so I'm still getting junk out of this, so I'm going to fold it one more time. Push this pipe cleaner back in there and get it nice and somewhat clean. That's not bad. And again, the pipe cleaners are nice and handy, but get the fluffy ones. Do get the fluffy pipe cleaners. They clean much better than the thin ones do. You can get pipe cleaners with brass brushes in them. You can do all sorts of different things with pipe cleaners. Every now and again, my granddaughter comes up here and she wants to steal all my pipe cleaners to do art projects. So I let her have them because she's my granddaughter. Then I'm going to scrub down in here with my rag, just get the rest of it clean. This little drop ledge here on this gun, just give it a quick sweep with a Q-tip. And I'm going to call that slide clean for now and probably forever. Then here is the frame of the gun. Once again, I'm going to use my Q-tips and I'm going to put a little bit of hops number 9 on it. Douse it with that. Yay, hops. This bottle's like 82 years old. I'm kidding. It's about 10 years old and it just keeps going. So I'm just going to get down in here. Dirty. Again, this gun was only shot one time yesterday after a cleaning. It shot 100 rounds. So I'm just going to, they get pretty dirty pretty quick, but this gun could probably go 1,000 rounds before you actually need to clean it. But since this is my carry gun, it gets treated like a princess and it gets cleaned all the time because I want my self-defense gun to actually be spit shined as much as I can. And again, I shot it yesterday, so I'm getting it cleaned up today. I did carry it this morning in a slightly dirty condition, but I'm sure it would have functioned just fine. Now get all the junk from the triggers, I mean the hammer assembly, whatever that thing is called back there. Not a gun gate, but I know that that part is where is the bangy part, the part that goes bang. The striker fired is activated from there. So just get down in there. If I had dropped this gun in water or something, I would take my rag and stick it on my pole here and gently, very gently push it through the magazine well and bring it up on the other side. There's a lot of metal bits hanging around, so I just kind of like draw it back and forth just kind of easily, nothing aggressive right there. And that's typically it. I mean, that's a nice clean magazine well when you get right down to it, whether you like that or not. Too bad. So this is pretty much clean. Again, it only had 100 rounds through it yesterday, so I'm going to call that quits on that as well. Now I'm going to set up my cleaning rod. And remember, I had some foaming bore cleaner in there. I'm going to put my attachments on it. This is one of the downfalls to having a multi-gun or multi-caliber cleaner. You got to put all these silly ass attachments on there, but that's okay. I do have individual caliber gun cleaners over there, but I'm just going to run with this. Now remember, I told you that we want this thing to spin, so I'm not going to defeat the spin of the brass brush. I'm going to let it spin down the rifling. Mind you, if you are doing this at your kitchen table, certainly put a towel or a cleaning mat underneath of it because this stuff just gets everywhere when you're cleaning a gun. So just make sure that you protect your interest because your spouse might not be too happy with you if you clean a gun at the kitchen table with no protection to the kitchen table. So the barrel has been scraped down. There's a lot of junk still in it. I'm not done cleaning the barrel just yet, but I'm going to clean the chamber face. And look how dirty that is. The feed ramp, get the feed ramp nice and shiny clean. Now I'm going to replace the brass brush with the swab cleaner thing over here. Again, I make my own cleaning rags, so I make them for 44 Magnum and then I just cut them as needed. You don't want your rag too loose, you don't want it too tight. You want it to be just right inside there so you don't break your tools. And you're not going to get a rag that's too big through there anyways. So then we push it through here and it comes out quite nasty dirty. So we're going to get rid of that rag. We're going to put a fresh rag on there. We're going to push it through again. As such. Still pretty dirty. I'm going to take this slightly pretty dirty rag and put a little bit of nitro solvent on it, a little bit of hops number 9, a few drops. Remember, these things come with micro applicators, teeny tiny little holes. You see it? Tiny hole. Same thing with the oil. Tiny holes. We're not hitting these things with fire hoses. And I'm going to shove that through there a couple of times. Remember, letting it spin. The rags don't spin as much as the brushes do, but let them spin. Reach over here, grab a new rag. As I said, I cut these things huge for 44 Magnums, and then I just size them down as I am cleaning the particular caliber. I'm going to cut this one in half. Always good to have a nice pair of scissors lying around, just for your gun cleaning pleasure. This rag might be a tad bit big. We'll see. We'll see. I think it'll go through there though. Yep. A little snug. Snug is good. And that rag is still a little bit dirty. Technically, the way I was taught to clean these, you push it through and you do it until the rag is clean. So we'll just go through that little step right there. We'll just do it one more time, just to make sure that it is nice and clean. Okay, so that's pretty and clean. I did forget to clean one spot though. I'm going to put a little drop of gun cleaner on another Q-tip, and I'm going to clean this locking part of the barrel. Come up pretty dirty underneath that. So that's all nice and clean now. So then I'm going to put a few drops of oil on this last rag, and I'm going to drip it here, drip it there, a little drop, 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 drop. Then I'm going to oil the inside of the barrel and the chamber with this last rag. Then I'm going to take this rag off that has the oil on it, and I'm going to just simply wipe down the outside of the barrel. The barrel and the top of the chamber are metal to metal friction spots, and that's really where you want to clean it. After you've shot your gun for a while, you'll see where you need to make sure you oil. That's a friction spot right there where the metal's just worn down a little bit. The finish is off of it. Doesn't hurt the gun, but certainly give it a little bit of oil love. Now, typically after 100 rounds, I'm not going to clean this spring. Typically after 1,000 rounds, the spring doesn't get that dirty. You can just give it a quick test with your fingers, and there's no carbon on it, so I'm not even going to worry about it this particular time. So then in here, we're going to oil friction points, metal to metal friction points. So I'm going to oil right there. I'm going to oil right there. That's pretty much all I'm going to oil today. I'm going to, inside there, I'm going to put a drop on this guide rail and a drop on this one. Drop on this one, drop on this one. And I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm going to drop the barrel in there. Mind you, the Sig Sauer has vertical sides on it, so that has to go in properly or the gun will not go back together correctly. So make sure that those two flat spots right there are vertical. Put the gun back together, lock it to the rear, disengage the takedown lever, rack it a couple of times, function test it, pulling the trigger in a nice safe direction, which always, gun safety is an important thing. Even though there's no live ammunition up here, I'm still going to function test that gun with the barrel pointed in a safe direction. So there you go. There was just a quick how-to on the way I clean, or quick clean, a Sig Sauer P320 X carry, the components that I use, the way I do it. Next time, if it gets really, really dirty, we'll do a full monster cleaning on it. You can also drop these guns into the vibratory cleaner with the proper solutions in it. And in that case, I use 50% water, 50% simple green. I clean the gun, take it down to the shop, blow all the water out of it, replace the cleaning solution with a water displacement oil, not to be confused with WD. Put it back into the cleaner, vibrate all the water out of it, bring the gun out, let the components dry. Now you have a completely naked gun of oil. So you must thoroughly oil the gun after you use a vibratory cleaner. So anyways, John, gunsafetytraining101.com. Check it out. There's a lot of information on that course. And Gun Safety Training 101 on YouTube, where you'll find this video right here. And remember, be safe.